time we turn live, man, you know it's the truth. Every after show, moving down, this the time we move around. No Gimmicks podcast is going down. Every night, every time in the ring, this is the time for no gimmicks, no, we doing our thing. What's your state of mind? State divine. Moving down a statement when we take the line. This is exactly wrestling the state design. When you see Stone Cold like me, with the stunner in the world, exactly, man, what we bring. Every night we move like Brock Lesnar, the F5, no gimmicks. We take you to your limit, what's the feeling? When we live in the air, you know we on, it's the time. Guarantee we move, you know how we respond. The state design, the state design when we feel it.
Yo. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the No Gimmicks podcast here on the DFPN. Pardon me, I'm not my usual upbeat self. I'm kind of under the weather today, but we're going to get through the show. We have had a freaking monumental day today. So tonight's show is going to be a good one. So before we get into the show, let's go ahead and shout out our sponsor. Shout out to Khan's Custom Creations. She made a dope ass sweater and shirt for me. So find her on Facebook, Khan's Customs Creations, at IG Khan's_custom creations. Get your custom merch. She makes it quality for the low. It won't break your pockets, and it looks good. I can attest to that. It's fire. So go seek her out. Get your stuff. We are on the Patreon tonight. If you're not rocking with us live, patreon.com/thatfeelingpodcast. As little as $3, it will get you in the door, get you in tune with all these shows, and we have a great time. Shout out to the guys that on the music side, thatfeeling.bandcamp.com. Same deal, $3 gets you the entire That Feeling catalog. My co-host, Frank D, the chosen one. What is up, my friend?
Nothing much, man. I'm sorry to hear that you're under the weather, but it's that time of the season, bro. So
Tis the
things
season,
happen. Exactly. You'll get over it. You'll be fine as long as you embrace the dark side of the force.
Never. Never. But yeah, man, we got a packed show, man. Let's jump right into the shit, man. I woke up this morning and immediately, like, I'm seeing notifications, ESPN is sending out notifications. First thing I see was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is now on the board of operations for TKO, or board of directors. Sorry, he's on the board of directors for TKO. Huge monumental news coming up right first thing early this morning. Let's talk about it, man. So this is a big deal. First and foremost, the biggest part of that is that he gets the Rock. Out of that deal, he owns the rights to The Rock. So how huge is that?
That's big because that's something that's never happened before. Anybody who's ever come to the WWF, now WWE, they've never actually either never got to use their name or they had their name before they got there. So The Rock was something that was created for Dwayne while he was in the WWF.
Correct.
And to see him actually have the name The Rock, it's the name that people know him for. He's synonymous with that name. Just like when you think of Hitman, you either think of Thomas the Hitman Hearns or you think of Bret the Hitman Hart. Those are the two that come to mind. Hulk Hogan, I mean, come on. The Macho Man, Stone Cold, these are names that are synonymous, and I'm glad to see that The Rock gets to be The Rock. And he's on the board of directors now. This is a monumental day for not only the WWE, but sports entertainment in general, because of what happened after that. Because not only did The Rock join TKO board of directors, but we also found out where Monday Night Raw is heading come 2025, which is going to be streamed on Netflix, which is a big deal because Netflix has wanted to get into the live genre of sports entertainment style programming. I think that it's going to bring subscribers over to Netflix who want to see WWE programming, but also this actually helps out the entire wrestling industry because it makes it more profitable. People can see wrestling as if Netflix can make a deal here with WWE for $5 billion over 10 years. But the terms of the details of the agreement are Netflix, after 5 years, can opt out, or they can extend the deal. If they extend it, it goes to 20 years. So this is a crazy situation. But like I said before, now that we know where WWE is going, I think all of their stuff is in check. They're going to be on the CW for NXT. They have SmackDown coming to USA Network. You have Raw going to Netflix. I'm safe to say AEW is going to remain on the Turner Networks. This void on Monday nights with the USA Network, as you and I were talking about a minute ago, opens up the possibility of TNA filling that void.
It does.
Impact show to the USA Network. And I think because they are doing business with Endeavor, they're on the Endeavor umbrella, quote unquote, with the streaming situation. I think, and the fact that they are calling their pay-per-views now PLEs. Take that into consideration. They're calling PLEs now. I think that it's a very good chance that we can see TKO coming in and doing some favors for TNA and getting them that spot on Monday nights, and you got wrestling. It's just big. It's
different
big.
Wrestling every night.
Exactly. And it like I said before, it helps the entire wrestling industry.
It does. In the immediate, it opens things up. Like, and that was the biggest news coming out of that. The Raw deal is that, yes, on one side they go to streaming, but it opens up for everybody because they're the biggest company. They went to streaming first, so it's going to open that up. That relationship gets great. Now other streaming platforms are going to look to bring wrestling into the fold, which it's good. It's good for everybody, right? And then on the flip side of that, the void that it left leaving network television has to be filled, and the perfect company to do it is TNA. So it's like the tide rises for everybody right now. That's the situation that we're in. So it was definitely cool to see. Also, the effect that it had on the stock market, both TKO and Netflix saw a significant increase this morning, and TKO is actually still rising off of that. Netflix also announced today that they gained in their fourth quarter, they gained 13 million new subscribers, bringing their total to 260 million. So they're probably going to see more come in off of this deal. And the biggest thing that was coming out was like, well, what is the average wrestling fan or the older wrestling fan, right? The higher end of the key demo, like, do these guys want to cut cable and go to the streaming services? And I'm like, why the fuck not? I already have Netflix, right? The average person is already cutting cable, right? So this deal is actually catering to that crowd. So like, the majority of the people that I interacted with was like, I haven't watched network television in a long time. I've been cut the cord to cable. So it's actually playing into the hands of a lot of people. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this unfolds and what this is actually going to look like in the long run. I think it's going to be very good for the industry as a whole.
I couldn't agree more. It's a very positive situation. And the fact that streaming is where it's at, and WWE is now proving that, because I mean, they're taking a big gamble here. We're going to Netflix, taking Raw somewhere where it's never been before.
Yeah.
So that's a very big deal. And then on top of that, this also opens the door for Warner Brothers Discovery to come and say, okay, hey, listen, we're going to take the AEW programming that you have and we're going to finally put it on the Max. We're trying to compete here with Netflix. And also, you have a situation where Amazon Prime is out there looking for content as well. So that also could open the door for a possible TNA, or it could open the door for an NWA, or it could open the door for, let's say, a Ring of Honor on Amazon. But the thing about it is that Tony, I think, wants to stay with Warner Brothers because they have such a working relationship. I think Warner Brothers, for the most part, is happy. I think the big conundrum right now is the fact, I think it might be financial, is why they're not meeting, head to head. Nothing's been signed yet. Is what's
Right.
going on here, because
This
WWE just
deal,
announced this deal today.
right? This deal
And
might
yeah,
swing things in AEW's favor, right? Because
I don't think, I never for once really thought that they were going to go anywhere to begin with.
right,
Because I mean, you already have the brands are already established on the Turner networks.
correct,
So there's no point of switching networks at this point. I know Tony wanted to stream Ring of Honor on the Max, and he may get the opportunity to do that now, because you can look at what's going on at WWE and say, okay, hey, listen, we're going to do this, and we're going to do it the right way. And on top of that, too, we also found out that the Peacock deal actually expires in March of 2026
correct,
for WWE Network. So that's going to be
correct.
very interesting to see if they're going to renew that come that time, or is that also going to migrate over to Netflix, or will we become a standalone service again?
Right. Well, that's interesting too, because the UFC deal also expires. Their rights deal also expires, I think, in 2025. So it's like back to back to back. But I'm thinking this is a setup for all of it. Right.
Yeah.
So you already got, and after 5 years, they can revisit that deal, which in turn, if they already have UFC under that umbrella as well, then they can, UFC and network under that umbrella, then they can just pull that back under the fold after 5 years. And then it all runs kind of uniform.
Right.
So yeah, it's interesting on a lot of levels what this will do, because we haven't seen anything like this before. We haven't seen anything like this ever. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I mean, WWE were the first ones to actually take it to streaming with the original incarnation of the network, which was WWE 24/7. They were the first ones to go with the over-the-top kind of broadcast, which
Right.
was showing the classic archived footage from WWF, WCW, whatever. So fast forward that into where we are now with the Netflix deal, with the Peacock deal. And, like I said before, I believe that eventually they're probably, if they can't continue to lease out this content to Peacock, they're most likely just going to say, okay, we can either do two things. We can migrate this whole thing to Netflix, which, I mean, Netflix would love to get their hands on the WWE network, because that's
Hell
even
yeah.
more content for them to stream. More
That
subscribers.
the docuseries is actually a part of that deal too. They're
Yeah.
bringing the
So,
documentary series over to Netflix now. So
yeah, so it works out even better.
yeah.
So you have that, plus you have, okay, they're still in other parts of the world, the WWE network is still its own entity. So you can actually take it back to being its own entity, which you actually could combine the UFC streaming service and the WWE network together.
Right.
There's still a lot of content that's in the library that WWE has digitized. They just haven't released it yet. Like, people, a lot of people that, when I'm on Reddit and I'm looking at the posts and shit, a lot of people are complaining about the lack of the classic content uploads for the WWE network, because not a lot of
Right.
people watch the current stuff. They like to go back and watch the past. And majority of the time, the only place you can get the classic content is going to be on YouTube, because WWE only has so much.
Right.
And I remember talking to someone who used to work on the network, and he told me that when he basically got released, he got let go, they were kind of phasing out the video on demand part of the company. And I believe that's what happened with the uploads here, and why there's a lack of uploads, because they have nobody to work on the
No
shit.
manning.
Because
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
when they did when COVID happened, and they cut a lot of shit, there was something, because there's a lot of stuff that goes into producing this stuff for the network. You have to
Right.
go in there,
Right.
and you literally have to go clean up the footage. You got to dub music that needs to be dubbed and bury it. So much stuff that goes into this shit, and I don't think they don't have anybody dedicated to doing it right now. I think that's going to change, because Ari Emanuel knows TKO knows we have this vast majority, this huge library that we have. We have the biggest library in sports entertainment of all the territories, everything we have. Let's put it out for the people because we know we can make money with this shit. So I think this, like I said, this Netflix deal is going to lead to a lot more bigger things, and it's just kind of like a wait and see deal. But that wasn't the only thing, because before this deal happened, yesterday we got the official trailer for WWE 2K24. And I have to tell you, I marked that big time. Like 40 years of WrestleMania mode.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to playing that. That is,
there was some interesting stuff that came out of that.
Oh,
some very interesting stuff that came out of that.
Yeah.
Which if you
Andre?
Yeah, that it like yesterday, and then the focus on Cody.
Yeah.
That they put on that trailer. I was like, huh. But yet that was yesterday. I didn't know I was gonna wake up this morning to see The Rock had joined the board. So
it's a big it's a big week, and we're heading into right now we're literally on the road to WrestleMania at this point. I mean, and as we were talking, I'm like, the way I would do this thing on Sunday, and people can agree with me or disagree with me, this Royal Rumble right here is important. It's giving me
very
1992 vibes right here because of the star power that they got in this match. And you got so many guys out there. You literally, and this is what makes it fun, you literally don't know who's going to win this thing.
That's the truth. That is the absolute truth. If you'd have told me a week ago, I would have had 2 answers for you. Now I got like 4. Because I legitimately don't know.
Because CM Punk is hot.
Yep.
Cody is hot. Drew McIntyre has been basically replenished. He's hot again.
Yep.
You got the Damian Priest situation.
Yep.
You got Gunther out here with Seth Rollins. You got so many different. You got Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso solo.
Yep.
All these different cats.
There's so many people with the potential to win this thing.
Exactly. So many people. And I think, and like we were talking about, if I'm booking this match, I am going to do the finish they did in 94. And that is Luger and Bret Hart over the top at the same time. That's what I would do. Cody and CM Punk over the top at the same time.
Because
there is no definitive winner.
Yep.
That's what I would do.
Yep. Plus that interaction they had on Monday Night Raw, fire.
So one thing about that interaction that I didn't really like very much is the crowd wasn't really into it all that much. The crowd was kind of flat, and they really need to turn the Thunderdome down, bro.
They were. To me, it was more they were split, because it was just like, I don't know who the fuck to root for right now, because that's how I felt. I was like, okay.
They weren't really popping anything though. They were popping some things, but like when CM Punk says, "Well, I'm the biggest superstar that's going to come back," nobody reacted to that. And
that is true. They more so reacted to the "I'm more of the American dream than you are."
Yeah, and then when he said, "I'm more CM Punk than you," they reacted to those things.
Yeah,
So. But it's kind of getting, I don't know. It's kind of getting tired now. The whole when you left the company, and kind of getting tired now, bro.
It is.
We already know he left, but you can't. You say that, but it's because you can't acknowledge the other place.
Exactly. Exactly. That, and it came from Cody, so I was like, okay, that's a stinger. That's a stinger. I would have loved if he would have said, I came here because I chose to. You came here because you didn't have a choice. Something along that line.
Yeah, I came here because I chose to. You came here because you had to.
Yeah. Something like that.
Right. But in reality, it's where Punk wanted to be all along.
All along. And this brings me back to a promo that Cody cut before he left AEW, because that's what that encounter reminded me of. And he started the promo saying someone told me to wait to make this promo, but basically he cut the promo that he cut on CM Punk. But he called himself the Forbidden Door in AEW. But he basically told Punk to his face. He was like, the things you talked about, I actually did. But he cut that promo in AEW where he was like, someone sat up, because I think they were in Vegas when he cut it. He's like, someone sat up there and they did the pipe bomb. And he talked about the pipe bomb, and then he talked about like what he intended to do. And he said, I actually did it. He's like, in that sense, I became the Forbidden Door. And then right after that, he was in WWE.
Yeah, so that kind of leads me to think here that at some point Cody and Punk may have been, getting
talking about it. Yeah, talking about it. So
that's what Cody is all business.
Oh yeah,
Cody is business. Cody already said we can do something.
Yeah, most definitely. Now I would have wanted that to happen after Mania.
Oh, check this out. I'm reading this right now.
Go ahead.
So William Regal was on NXT tonight, and he made Ava Raine the new general manager of NXT, The Rock's daughter.
Ooh, the hits keep coming.
Right.
This is basically AEW.
Yep.
This is what AEW should have been.
Right.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yep. So William Regal can now appear. I guess that time is up that he couldn't appear on TV. He can now appear on TV.
Yep.
So good shit.
Look, Jeff said he was already pulling strings for family.
Why not?
Why not?
Bill Watts used to do it. Bill Watts was going to push his kid in the World Championship back in the day.
Hell yeah. Speaking of which, I think The Rock might have actually spoiled the main event for Mania.
Oh, I saw that. I mean, he basically said there's no bigger match they have except for him and Roman Reigns. Rock is telling you that. Rock is pretty much telling you what the main event is.
That's the main event.
So
you can't be the board of directors, bro. You can't be on the board of directors and be like, that's the biggest match possible.
Yeah.
That
leads me to believe that Punk. So here's the scenario that I'm thinking in my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm thinking is CM Punk versus Cody. Seth Rollins, he relinquishes the World Championship. Seth Rollins versus Cody. Oh, no, sorry. CM Punk versus Cody for the World Heavyweight Championship. Cody beats Punk. He gets it. He finishes the story. And then Damian Priest cashes in on him and becomes the world champion.
But I can see that happening.
That sets up a whole new feud now with Damian Priest and Cody over the world title.
I can see that.
That's what I would do.
Look at this comment. I can attest that back in January 2023, No Gimmicks Crew has been putting this match up in the universe. We have. It's the biggest match possible.
It's the biggest match since it's the biggest match since Hollywood Hogan and The Rock.
I agree with that. Yeah. And I was saying before this even happened, I didn't even know about the Seth injury, but if you want to make a big WrestleMania, night one has to be Cody versus CM Punk. At this point, night two has to be Roman versus The Rock. It has to be.
Yep. And I'm still angling for Randy Orton versus Solo. I think that's a good matchup there.
Yeah.
And it's like at this point too, it's like, okay, so in doing this, what do you then do with Drew McIntyre? Because he's hot. But also here's the problem with Drew. Drew has not resigned with WWE.
This is true too. If I'm really wanting to do that, then my night one would have Drew versus Gunther.
problem with that isn't Drew a heel now, or is he a tweener?
I think he's more of a tweener, which it'll work either way.
I don't know. That's kind of tricky. Doing heel versus heel or heel versus tweener.
It is. It really is.
I mean, I go back in the day. I mean, that's the reason why Warrior versus Hogan at WrestleMania 6 wasn't really a success as they thought it was going to be, because it was two baby faces going at it, and Vince didn't want that. He's like, we can't do that again. You know?
True.
It's like you have to. It's like, you know, it's like with the NWO days. You had Hall and Nash would go up against the Faces of Fear, right?
Right.
And in that match, you would on paper you would be like, oh, that's two heel tag teams. But Hall and Nash would be the ones getting cheered, because who are you going to cheer? You're going to cheer the Outsiders, or you're going to cheer the Faces of Fear?
Right.
So that's kind of like with this situation with Gunther and Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship, which I believe that's kind of, wasn't that a triple threat match last year at Mania?
It was
with Sheamus. So it's kind of like, do we want to repeat the same match again?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So it's not like there can only be one winner.
That was a banger, though.
Yeah,
that was
a banger, but there can only be one winner for the Rumble. Everybody can't win the Rumble. And I know for damn sure CM Punk is like, I'm probably going to get my WrestleMania main event.
Yeah.
But then also, you got to be like, okay, finish the story.
There's so much.
And it's like, bro, Punk could have got back at Cody and said, yeah, you know, you're on the cover for WWE 2K24. I was on the cover for WWE 14.
Yep.
So, yeah. People seem to forget that.
Yeah. There's so many ways you can go with that. So many.
Right. So, all good shit though.
But what about this comment? Bubba was in the No Gimmicks group and said Rollins versus Gunther would be dope at Mania. I would agree with that.
It would be dope, but the problem is that you risk exposing Gunther, because they're not going to have Rollins drop the belt to him. So he would have to take the fall. And right now, he's been a strong, dominant Intercontinental Champion. So it's not, for me, business-wise, it's not the best decision to do that. You keep those two guys apart. Especially especially right now, you don't know Seth Rollins, if he's even going to be able to compete at WrestleMania. You know, you don't know if he's going to be able to drop the belt. Nobody knows yet. So that's kind of like where they got a lot of plans change. CM Punk coming back, change plans. Randy Orton coming back, change plans. AJ coming back, change plans. The roster is stacked.
It's stacked, bro. And then Seth gets hurt.
Then Seth gets hurt in a match with Jinder, which some people said the match with Hook and Samoa Joe was better than Jinder and Seth. That's
crazy.
That's what I've read.
That's crazy.
So, yeah. And I'm like, why? And I understand that Seth is the working man's champion, pretty much, the fighting champion. But why would you be risking that so close to WrestleMania?
That. And it's
that's
like,
what Hogan. That's why Hogan never had Hogan out there doing any like big matches before WrestleMania or some shit like that.
Nope.
Why would you risk your guy getting hurt?
Yeah, run the angle.
Right.
Him showing up is more valuable than him wrestling at this point.
Right.
Which is that's crazy. Because that one, and you seen it when he landed. When he landed, he looked concerned. It was like, there goes a whole lot of shit. Because I would guarantee you, if Seth doesn't get hurt, CM Punk probably wins the Rumble. CM Punk probably challenges Seth. That's probably the plan. Now it's just everything's topsy-turvy. What if Seth is clear to go?
So the only thing I can see happening is if Seth can't go, they basically say, here's the deal. This guy's going to be out of commission at the Elimination Chamber. We're going to put these guys in the match. This is going to be the fallout from the Rumble. We'll put these guys in the match. The winner of this match at the Elimination Chamber will become the World Heavyweight Champion. go on
So
to
have an
WrestleMania.
elimination chamber for the belt.
Correct.
Okay.
And if they did that, that gives Seth an out that he gets beat right there and drops the belt.
Right. Or he don't even make it to the match. They can effectively strip him of the title.
They could, or we can do another angle. They could do that. And we can have a situation, storyline, where Seth Rollins is refusing to give up the World Heavyweight Championship. Therefore, we are making a new World Heavyweight Championship, and we will crown a new champion. Seth Rollins comes back from injury saying, I am the real world champion because I never got beat for the title. Whoever the
Like
champion
what
is,
CM Punk did.
kind of, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah. And it
like
can be
that.
Punk doing the same angle all over again. The real world champion. Taking the spray paint and putting the X over the belt.
Yep.
Doing it in WWE now.
Yep. I like it. I ain't mad at it. Realistically, what I would have done is I would have had Seth come out Monday, announce that he was actually hurt, cue Damian Priest. Cash that shit in.
Yeah.
Cash it in.
Absolutely.
But it plays out how it's gonna play out.
Yep. We won't know anything until
I think they're foolishly banking on Seth being available. I think so.
Well, it's really depending on what the injury is because nobody knows.
Well, he said he had a grade 2 tear.
Yeah, but sometimes it's kayfabe shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're gonna tell you like, you know what I mean. So, like I said, it comes down to we won't know anything until Saturday when the Rumble's over, the direction that they're going to go in, and even then, that direction is not concrete because we still got the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's a crazy outlook.
Right.
That's a crazy outlook. Do we want to go over the Rumble? You want to go over the Rumble?
Nah. I mean, there's already nothing to go over. I mean, you already know Roman's winning.
What if he doesn't?
No, he's winning. He's going to. You know damn well he's not dropping that belt.
What if
his title match? His title matches at this point are pointless because you know damn well he ain't dropping the belt.
But what if he does though?
He's not dropping it. Nobody, none of those three guys he's wrestling right now should be world champion. Sorry.
Oh, that's sad.
But it's not knocking him. It's just Roman has been on this trajectory to become the man, beating all these people's records. So all of a sudden now we're going to sacrifice him to Randy Orton or AJ Styles or LA Knight. No, I wouldn't do it. That's bad business. It's bad booking.
Which
I'll check cage match later and see.
Seth getting hurt changed that match too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because if you would have told me like if Seth is healthy, CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble. Actually, you probably don't need Punk to win the Royal Rumble. If Seth is healthy, Cody wins the Rumble. And later on that night, Randy Orton wins the title. You could still have Seth and Punk at Mania. You can have that for the main event for that title. You don't need the main event for night 2 to be Cody versus Randy. Cody just needs to finish the story. You can have that as the co-main. And that'll still be a good match. It'll draw. It'll be for the title. Cody finishes the story. Everybody's happy. You end that night with obviously Roman versus The Rock. And that would have been night 2. That would have been my guess. But since Seth is hurt, I don't know. I really don't know. I had a prediction and now I don't.
Yeah, But then, shit, I just thought about something else too. Because then, when you look at the Rumble participants, you got Bobby Lashley, you got Street Profits, Karrion Kross, Artis. This is where they should have did that 40-man battle royal again.
Yeah, this would have been a perfect opportunity.
Yep.
This would have been a perfect opportunity. Max said, "You don't think a women's match could headline night one?" No. No.
No offense, but no.
No. Because if you look at the stories, even though they are having a women's rumble, right? That's almost like the men's, right? So if you have a men's winner, that story means more coming out of Rumble, right? And you'll probably have them both on the same night. Honestly speaking, because who's coming out of there? Oh, wait a minute. Who's coming out of the Rumble? Who's coming out of the women's Rumble that can be a challenger for the title, and you'd be like, I'm there for that shit.
Right now?
Right now.
They're gonna probably have to honestly. They're gonna. There's only two people.
Who's that?
So they would probably run it back to Becky. Okay.
Yep.
Or they bring in Mercedes. Or
high possibility.
Or Jay Cargill.
That's what there was a question just popped up. You don't think? I think Jay could debut at the Rumble.
I think that's perfect time this year, sir.
Yeah, making an immediate impact on the Rumble.
Right. She comes into the Royal Rumble match. We're gonna see what she's learned since she's left AEW. The Royal Rumble match will be a very good test for her because it's very competitive with the women, and we'll see if she has a dominant performance. Let me tell you who had a dominant performance in his first Rumble match and went in there and just started throwing people out left and right and made a name for himself, and he was over by the time it was done. It was Kevin Nash as Diesel.
Yeah, you're right.
1994 Rumble.
You're right about
that.
He
entered the match, threw all the people out, didn't give a damn if they were heels, faces. He was dominant. They bring Jay Cargill in there. She could be dominant too. Have a dominant performance. She don't have to win, but she have a dominant performance. She could just start throwing people out left and right. She could be eliminated, but people remember Jay Cargill because she.
And everyone will remember her. Yeah,
and that's all. And let's also think about the possibility too of TNA talent appearing at the Rumble.
That too.
So
that too.
We could see Trinity come in. She's just finishing up with TNA. We can see Trinity.
I like Trinity coming back, honestly.
As a heel.
Yeah.
With her husband. Finally a part of the bloodline.
I like it. Stack the numbers.
What was the comment there? I didn't get a chance to read it all the way.
Max said, if I keep hanging around, y'all, I'm end up coming with some storylines for WWE.
Bro, join the club, my friend. You might as well. Shit, join the club. It's good. It's cool to play, Monday morning quarterback and shit. It's cool to go back and do that.
It is.
Unless you're a Dallas Cowboys fan.
So. There ain't no hope for them. I said it. I said it on this podcast.
Yeah.
I said it.
Yeah, it was funny as hell, man. They were pissed.
Hey, man, I knew.
Yeah.
My
spirit.
They were
mad as hell. One dude was on there. Damn sons of bitches.
Goddamn church. Hold up.
Hey, man, you better put that flag down. What's wrong with you, boy? Shit.
You just throwing the flag in the bush. What's wrong with you?
Out there just tripping over a football game. Damn. It's like that's like me tripping over some wrestlers. Like it's like I could be like, oh my god, I can't believe The Rock just came out there and won. He hasn't been there forever. Well, give it to somebody who's there. They just screwed over R-Truth.
I'm just mad the possibility. That's funny. the possibility was there last year, and we were in the building, and all these jabrones get to witness it this year.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is. I hope y'all happy.
We shall be watching.
Yeah, most definitely.
I just thought about something.
What's that?
So, isn't Collision going head to head with the Rumble?
Oh, that is correct. Ain't nobody watching that shit, bro.
Look at you. Look at you now. Talking shit.
I'm not talking shit. I'm being realistic. That's a realistic thing.
Oh, everything's great.
The show is good. Nobody's watching it though. Ain't nobody watching it.
Yeah. It was, CM Punk was on it, so CM Punk is gonna be on the show, the Rumble, competing
on
against
Saturday.
the show that used to be his show. Yeah.
Isn't
that funny how shit works out?
Yes, wow. Yep, Collision is getting the DVR treatment. Now, I will say this for Collision. Collision has done a way better job of pacing the show. And again, I don't know what it is with these AEW shows, man. Dynamite is starting to get there, but the shows that aren't on Wednesday, they all do better than the Wednesday show. It's weird.
Yeah, I guess. I haven't watched it in I don't know how long, and I don't plan on watching it.
It's super weird.
Yeah.
They all do better. Collision's actually a good show. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to say it now on this show so there's no confusion. If you do not, AEW, if you do not strap the rocket to Queen Aminata, in a year, she'll be going just like Jade Cargill. Queen Aminata is the one. She is the one.
If you don't strap the rocket and firmly establish Swerve Strickland, he's
going back.
Will be going back.
Yep,
to the WWE.
He's going back. You have two. Listen, Queen Aminata the first time I saw her, and I forgot about her because she's been out of action for a while. But the first time I saw her, I was like, I don't know who this is, but they need to do more with her. And then when she came back, I was like, oh yeah, I remember her. And now I'm saying it again. She's had 5 matches so far, all bangers since she's been back. They've all been good, and they've all been against some of the top women in AEW. She's put on great matches, and the way she looks, the way she carries herself, star. It's written all over her, and I'm like, if they don't do anything with this, she will get noticed, and she will be gone.
Well, there's also another free agent out there that we should talk about, and that's the possibility that she could show up at the Rumble as well, and that is former NWA World's Women's Champion Camille.
Her too.
Yep.
So I know she's been making her rounds. She's been going around with. She's been at AEW. She's been backstage in WWE. So I know that she's making her rounds. So her and there's another one, Julia. So
where does Camille end up?
If you want me to be honest, I would say that Camille would probably end up in WWE.
I tend to agree.
If I'm looking at the situation and I know that she's assessing it, I know that she's experienced both locker rooms. And of the two, the more professional by opinion of the wrestlers, what gets thrown out, the more professional of the two is WWE.
Well, of course, but she would be making more money in AEW.
She would. She would.
Just like the situation here. And there's also another guy that we need to talk about that can possibly enter the Rumble match. I don't necessarily know if it's going to happen or not, but it's a possibility. And I'm talking about Okada.
You know what? I'll say it too. I think Okada's going to WWE. I think WWE would need to snatch him up.
So I would say Okada, if Okada doesn't show up at the Royal Rumble, he shows up at WrestleMania doing the same thing Cody did.
I can see that. I can see that.
Now, if he doesn't show up in WWE at all, then there's AEW. And if he shows up in AEW, he shows up at Revolution to sign a contract.
Yeah.
Play it both ways. I'll tell you a segment I saw on Collision. I actually thought was kind of cool. It was the formation of the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. I like that.
I do too.
That was a good segment.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Plus, I think all of them are entertaining.
Right.
And it will work for them. Jeff says he thinks Okada already has a deal in place for WWE. That may be true.
He could. He very well could be. He basically, from what I understand, is he made the decision very recently to leave New Japan.
Right.
I think what it comes down to is I think he realizes, like, if I'm going to do something, the time is now to do it.
You know what? One place I'm not going to rule out is TNA because he was recently at TNA.
Unless TNA is going to throw some major money at him, I don't see that happening. I honestly think at this point, because Will Ospreay is at AEW, I think it's a very good possibility that Okada's going to end up there.
That could be that too. There's a lot of
it's 50-50 right now. 50-50, but then there's also another guy that basically just also left New Japan, and that's Tama Tonga.
I would love to see Tama Tonga in WWE. That's
Absolutely.
Just me. I would love to see him in WWE.
Yeah, I agree.
Although, if he shows up in AEW, shit's going to get real interesting.
I'm already thinking Bullet Club. Something Bullet Club.
It's not Bullet Club unless you have Tongan in it.
That's right.
So, I think if he shows up in AEW, shit's going to get very interesting. And I will give them the benefit to watch. I don't think it's going to be nearly as good as what they did before, but we'll see. We shall see. Yeah, man. So much. So, did we do this? Any more surprises you got for the Rumble?
No. I don't have any more surprises for the Rumble. I think it's going to play out, exactly kind of the way we're saying it right now, because they already left you with the cliffhanger on Monday with Cody and CM Punk face to face. They're telling you this Saturday night, watch the Rumble to find out what's going to happen.
Between these two
guys.
They will be the last two in the ring.
Exactly.
Then we have
the ultimate challenge. It's the ultimate challenge. The son of a plumber versus the blue collar worker.
The straight edge versus
it's the elite. It's the elite versus the Punk. It's AEW versus AEW.
I heard a very interesting thing on Busted Open. And someone compared Cody Rhodes to Anakin Skywalker.
So they're taking our shit?
I don't necessarily say they're taking it, but the way they compared him,
bro. Let me say something before you finish.
Go ahead.
We have been coming on this fucking show for months. We can go back to the archives of this podcast where we had a whole damn scenario where we talked about Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton,
This is true.
Master and Apprentice. We said that he was Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one.
Yep.
We have been saying this for months. I am literally sitting here right now doing this fucking show with Yoda right here,
Yep. He is.
the Empire behind me, and I'm wearing my fucking Darth Vader robe. We have been doing this. Okay? We've been doing it. So, whatever you say, we've been talking about this shit.
This is true. This is true. Now the comparison that he didn't walk it down like we did, but the comparison to Anakin Skywalker in the moment that he actually interacted with CM Punk, I saw it. I didn't compute the two, but I saw. But yeah, you're right. We have been saying this shit the whole time.
Well, let me tell you what I got from that. I got from watching that segment, I got the Anakin vibe as well with Cody, and I'm gonna tell you where it came from. The vibe I got with him was from Revenge of the Sith when he says, I want more, but I know but I shouldn't. That's Cody.
Yep.
Cody is a power hungry asshole. He is.
Yes.
I'm talking Cody Rhodes, the character, not the man. I think Cody Rhodes.
No, this is true. This is true.
But as the character of Cody Rhodes, Cody doesn't know it yet, but he's a Sith. He just don't know it yet. He had the same problem in AEW, where he was tempted by the dark side. That's what's going on here.
Yep.
This guy is tempted by the dark side. You know who else was tempted by the dark side? Before WrestleMania 17, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He said, I have to beat you, Rock. More than anything you know. I need to beat you.
Yeah.
And he sold his soul to the Emperor, Mr. McMahon, to become the WWF champion. Cody Rhodes is going to do anything possible that he possibly can to finish the story at WrestleMania.
He has
to hold the championship that his father never held, that his brother never held. This guy is going to turn to the dark side with the help of the Emperor. Who is the Emperor, you say? Paul Heyman.
The wise man.
The wise man.
Which, coincidentally, they talked about him, too, during that interaction. Telling you, it's going to happen.
Cody is a heel.
It's going to be glorious, bro.
He is a heel. He is a heel. You have somebody like CM Punk come in. Who is CM Punk in this story, right?
Darth
Who is
Maul.
Punk? No. I think CM Punk is Mace Windu. That's what I put him as. He don't like Cody. So he wants to come in and take Cody, and he's going to stop him from becoming the world champion, just like Mace Windu says, we grant you a seat on this council, but we would not give you the rank of master.
Okay.
I have come back to become the world champion to finish my story. I've come back and I am derailing your story. So I'm stopping you from going. I'm stopping you.
Yep.
Same way they said to Anakin Skywalker. We do not grant you the rank of master. And Anakin was like, what? Same thing with Cody. You're not going to be the world champion. You're not finishing your story before I finish my story. What? And that, ladies and gentlemen, listening to No Gimmicks right now here on the DFPN and Patreon is how you break it down Star Wars style.
That is correct.
Yes, sir. By the way, cheap plug here. If you want to listen to The Patio with Kim, Real Food, the Queens of Nerdum, the USDN, Smoke Pit, Make It Make Sense. The DFPN Patreon is where it's at. $3. $3. All right. That's like going to McDonald's and getting something off a dollar menu or something like that. $3 gets you all this content commercial free. You get it first. And also you help support your boys. $3 a month. What do you have?
Yep. Did my man freeze or did I freeze? I hope it's not me.
I don't know what the hell just happened here.
I was like, did you freeze or did I freeze?
No, it was both of us. So
Okay.
It came back here.
Cool.
The dark side of the force is overwhelming. Speaking of which, I want to make an announcement right here, right now on the No Gimmicks podcast. So, me and Mr. Black here, we are going to be talking about a new podcast venture coming up very shortly. And it is going to be devoted to Star Wars.
Correct.
And everything Star Wars. We are going to be launching very shortly in the near future. We're going to be watching the Rogue Empire podcast right here on the DFPN. And this podcast here is going to be talking about Star Wars. And I'm talking about everything Star Wars. We're going to be talking about Star Wars news happening. Talking about the Rey movie. We're going to be talking about Mandalorian Grogu. We're going to be talking about the Old Republic. We're going to be talking about the Skywalker saga. We're going to be talking about everything Star Wars, and we're going to put a no gimmicks twist on it. So get ready for that right here on the DFPN coming shortly. Your boys will present the Rogue Empire.
Correct. And with that,
and if I froze, I will tell you this.
It was the Force.
I am ice cold right now. That's why I froze.
Final shots, man. What you got?
Final shot is simply this. Help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. The last thing you want is you want to have this bastard right here coming to get you with a lightsaber and telling you, you know something? How dare you take your dog outside when it's freezing cold? The Arctic freeze that we had a couple weeks ago. How dare you walk your dog on ice? How dare you do that, you son of a bitch? Help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered, or you will feel the wrath of Lord Vader.
You heard the man. You heard the man.
And parting shots is simply this. Support your boys here on the DFPN. Patreon, $3 a month. Get you everything. You listen to the Black Mac, Frankie D, Mackie Boy, Jeff, everybody here at the DFPN. Everybody at the DFPN. $3.
Make you holla.
That's correct. I got nothing else, my friend. Rogue Empire podcast coming soon. Like I said, we're going to take deep dives into Star Wars. We're going to talk about everything. And not just Star Wars. You may catch me on a good day one day where I say, hey, let's talk about the other failure at Disney called the MCU.
Oh, whoa.
I got numbers to back it up.
Whoa.
I got numbers to back it up.
Whoa. That's too far.
Hey, no, it's not too far. We don't want to talk about Hasbro. We don't want to talk about Hasbro, do we? We don't want to talk about how Hasbro bought an entertainment company for like $4 billion a few years ago, cash money, and they sold it recently for $374 million because they're in debt right now because they're not making any fucking money. Just like the biggest flop in cinematic history was The Marvels. But I got numbers to back this up. But that's what you'll be hearing on the Rogue Empire podcast because we're not talking about it tonight.
Oh, we're going to talk about this shit later.
Oh, we sure will.
We shall talk about this later.
I have the numbers to back it up.
Hey,
let me ask you a question there, Black.
What?
Perhaps you think you're being treated unfairly?
No.
Good, because I would hate that to be a Garrison there.
Wow.
Brother.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Speaking of which, we forgot to bring it up. I just did it. 40 years of Hulkamania.
Yep.
40 years of Hulkamania, brother. Unbelievable. They got some really cool merch that they just released for this, too.
Did they?
Yes, WWEshop.com. We're not affiliated.
Okay.
Con does all the stuff here for, everybody, but WWEshop.com, they have all this 40 years of Hulkamania shit. I'm actually going to pick some shit up, man, because they got some really cool designs for Hogan.
Okay.
So, on this day, in 84, he beat the Iron Sheik for the WWF Championship. And this was started all. Now, let's get it right here. Hulkamania was way established before this in the AWA. I'm talking about Hulkamania and the WWF was formed this day in 1984. So, we're celebrating 40 years of Hulkamania. And it's just crazy that it's 40 years of Hulkamania. But I was never a Hulkamaniac. I wasn't a Hulkamaniac.
I wasn't either.
Hollywood.
But this shit does look cool, though. That merch looks... Yeah, I'm looking at it. It looks cool.
Oh, hell yeah.
Some cool looking merch.
Yeah. Hollywood.
All right. I might go on there. That's pretty cool.
So what we're gonna do next week, since we're talking about 40 years of Hulkamania, brother. Next week on the No Gimmicks podcast, I'm putting out here right now, we are going to take a look at Hulk Hogan. And we're going to bring up the top 10 Hulk Hogan matches of all time.
Bring your list. Bring your list, everybody.
We're going to do it. We're going to put out the top 10. Oh, by the way, Mac, your boy, if you're still in here, how dare you? How dare you post in the smoke pit? How dare you take one of the Michael Jackson albums off? You put me in a very, very precarious situation, my friend. I mean, I like rock with you, man.
It was management.
Wrong. Yeah, you were wrong for that, dude.
It was management. Wrong. Management was bullshit.
You will be hearing from the Emperor for that one.
You gonna blame that on me? That wasn't me.
Oh, it was. Oh, you know what? I can believe that. I can believe it was you who did it because you used to do that shit with New Edition and Boys Men. So you're an asshole.
That wasn't me. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. No.
Right.
I'm innocent this time.
I saw that and he had it on there in the smoke pit group, and I'm like, look at this shit. So like it has some bangers on it, but it's like, man, like damn.
No, I was that was not me. I was torn looking at that shit. I was like, what the fuck? But I was like, ooh, looking at it, I was like, I have to do Off the Wall. I have to.
I had to do it too, but I'm like, damn. And I'm like, and it's like, this is what I'm talking about, people. If you're not listening to the Smoke Pit, you got to listen to the Smoke Pit and the shenanigans that these two do, because it's crazy shit that will, at the end of the day, will piss you off. So go listen to it. The DFPN, also USDN as well. Jeff, they do a good show over there. Deep dive into a lot of different stuff. We have so much talent here on the DFPN. And DFPN in 2024, this is our year. We're taking over the business. I guarantee it.
Absolutely.
And that's my parting shot, people.
My parting shot is we got Mims tomorrow on Patreon. Make it make sense. And USDN is off outside the wire. And they're going to be doing their show tomorrow too. So great stuff coming this week. And tune in, tap in, man. It's going to be an awesome week. So, and we plan on coming back
Saturday.
Correct.
This Saturday night, live after the Royal Rumble. We will be live, probably outside the confines of Patreon. We're going to go live with our review of the Royal Rumble. So you want to check that out here on the DFPN and all the local affiliates that carry the DFPN.
Correct. And with that, I got nothing else.
I got nothing else either.
All right, man. Well, until next time, thank y'all for tuning in. Till next time, peace.
And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmicks.